Hey there! Let's be honest, dealing with litter box problems can feel completely overwhelming. But what if I told you it's not a frustrating chore, but actually a solvable mystery? That's what we're going to do today. We're going to put on our detective hats and figure out exactly what clues your cat is leaving for you. So let's get started. Okay, this question, it's probably one of the most stressful things a cat owner can go through. And if you're asking it, you're looking for real answers. And you have definitely come to the right place. We are going to break this whole thing down piece by piece. And this is the single most important thing to get into our heads right now. Your cat is not doing this to get back at you. It's not revenge. This behavior is a flashing neon sign, a direct message that something in their world, whether it's physical or emotional, is just off. Our job is to learn how to read that sign. Right, so every good detective starts by ruling out the most obvious suspects. And when it comes to litter box problems, that means we have to look at your cat's health first. Before you do anything else, before we look at any other clues, your first and most important stop has to be the veterinarian. You know, the list of potential health issues is actually pretty long, and it's serious. Things like a painful urinary tract infection, bladder stones, or even arthritis that makes it hurt just to climb into the box. Any of these could be the real culprit. This is why getting a vet check is not just a good idea, it is an absolutely essential first step. This brings us to a really powerful idea called negative association. Just imagine for a second, what if every single time you walked into your kitchen, you felt a sharp pain? Pretty soon you'd start avoiding the kitchen, right? Well, that's exactly what could be happening with your cat. In their mind, the litter box itself becomes the source of the pain, and they'll do anything to avoid it. Okay, so once the vet has given your cat a clean bill of health, that's when our real detective work can finally begin. This next part is all about analyzing the evidence at the crime scene to figure out what kind of message your cat is actually sending. And now we've reached the central question of our entire investigation. We have to figure this out. Is your cat spraying to mark their territory, or are they completely avoiding the box when they need to go? Getting this answer right is going to point our investigation in two very, very different directions. So how do you tell the difference? Well, the clues are all in the posture and the location. With urine marking or spraying, the cat is usually standing up, their tail is quivering, and they're spraying a small amount of urine on a vertical surface, like a wall or the side of a couch. But with litter box avoidance, they're squatting down and emptying their whole bladder on a horizontal surface, like the floor or a rug. One is about stress and territory. The other is a direct complaint about their bathroom. All right, so we've ruled out a medical issue, and we figured out if it's spraying or avoidance. Now we get to dig into the why. It's time to investigate the psychological reasons, the environmental triggers that are behind this whole thing. You have to remember, cats are incredibly sensitive creatures. Something huge, like moving to a new house or bringing home a new baby, can do it, but so can something you think is small, like just rearranging the furniture. Anything that disrupts their routine can create enough stress to trigger these behaviors. For cats, consistency is safety. Sometimes the stress isn't just about a new couch, though. It can be something much deeper, much more emotional. To really understand this, I want to share a powerful, real-world story that shows just how connected a cat's emotional state is to their physical behavior. I mean, what a heartbreaking way for this story to start. The owner lost their beloved cat Stevie, which triggered a profound sense of grief in his feline friend, Kit. And that grief showed up in a very direct and very personal litter box problem. Kit started peeing directly on his owner. And this is where the mind-body connection becomes so clear. The vet figured it out. Kit's emotional trauma, all that grief and insecurity, had actually caused a real, painful medical condition called stress-induced cystitis. It's basically an inflammation of the bladder caused by stress. So the huge takeaway from Kit's story is this. You often can't separate the behavior from the medical issue. The intense stress created the behavioral urge to pee outside the box, which then caused a painful physical problem, which then made the behavior even worse. It's a vicious cycle, and you have to treat both problems at the same time. Okay, we've investigated the scene, we've uncovered the motive. Now it's time for the most important part, building a case for a solution. Let's lay out a clear, step-by-step plan to get your cat back to using the litter box happily. When the habit of going outside the box is really, really ingrained, sometimes you just need a hard reset. And this method, let's call it Litter Box Boot Camp, is basically an intensive retraining program. It's designed to break that old bad cycle and create a brand new positive association with the box.
The process here is really methodical. First, you set up a small, controlled environment, like a bathroom. For a couple of weeks, this is their whole world. You give them multiple, sparkling clean litter box options to encourage them, and this part is crucial. While they're in there, you have to deep clean every single old accident spot with an enzymatic cleaner. Regular soap won't work. You have to destroy the odor molecules that draw them back. Then, after a few weeks of perfect box use, you slowly, room by room, let them back into the rest of the house.
Now, sometimes the problem is just that your cat has developed a preference for a certain texture. If they're always going on the carpet, try this little trick. Put a small scrap of carpet inside the litter box. Once they start using it, you can slowly begin to sprinkle litter on top of the carpet to transition them back. The same idea works for hard surfaces. If they like tile, try an almost empty box to mimic that feel. Here is a simple but pretty brilliant piece of cat psychology you can use to your advantage. Cats have a really strong instinct not to soil the areas where they eat. So after you've deep cleaned trouble spot with that enzymatic cleaner, try putting a food or water bowl right there. This can help completely rewrite their mental map of that spot from toilet to kitchen. Phew. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here, from vet checks and behavioral clues all the way to a full retraining plan. But what happens if you've done everything right and the problem still isn't solved? Let's wrap up our investigation. Look, there is absolutely no shame in needing to call for backup. If the case is just too complex, professionals like certified cat behavior consultants or veterinary behaviorists have advanced training. They can spot really subtle clues and design a highly customized plan just for you and your cat. And this is the message I really want to leave you with today. I know it can feel hopeless, but it really, truly, rarely is. This is not a character flaw in your cat. It's a problem, and problems have solutions. With some patience, some good detective work, and the right changes, you can almost always close this case. So as you move forward with your own investigation at home, just keep this one question front and center. Look at the clues, listen with empathy, and remember, you're not just cleaning up a mess. You are solving a puzzle that's going to make both of you so much happier and healthier. The answer is there. You just have to know how to look for it.